because there's
Yeah, I
normally
don't think
never
so.
any
I
echo.
think I'm okay.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Southbound and Down Losers Circle, episode 4, I believe. And there are 4 guys right here tonight who feel like a bunch of damn people that cheer for some losing-ass teams. So, my Panthers stink, guys. And I'm the professor, by the way. So, Joe, go ahead and introduce yourself. Take the mic away from me before I end it.
I am Joe Romano, also of the Sucky Panther clan. It's been a rough 2 weeks for Panthers fans, man. A rough 2 weeks. But we'll get into that. Go ahead, next man up.
I'm Scott Karasik. It's been a not so fun week. As you can see, the specialized logo for our struggles.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I might jump into a little bit of a rant. So
I hope so. That's what we're here for. In fact, I was thinking we should do this. Hi, my name is Anthony, and I am a Panthers fan. And then we all clap for each other, and we say, "Hi, Scott."
My last good memory of the Panthers was.
Yes, exactly. All right. How are the Saints doing? Tell me there's better news there.
The question is, who the hell is in them damn uniforms? Because it ain't the guys
New
who
Orleans
I
Saints.
thought that were there before.
The ones that I said the entire year was not that good.
Yeah. Well, your team ain't all doing all that damn well either.
They're not.
So,
They're not.
Okay.
I'll be the first to admit it.
We got everybody
We're
is
still
there.
the Saints.
So it's very simple. Everybody's got their asses handed to them this weekend. Everybody. So nobody can. We can laugh at each other, but we also can cry about ourselves.
Agreed. Okay, so let's go ahead and I can hear an echo, by the way, and I promise you, for once, it's not me. I hope. If it is, I quit my job as pack leader.
I don't hear echo actually myself.
Okay. All right, well, cool. Well, then that's good. All right, so I was gonna. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Let's start in Tampa, guys, with the one winner. We usually start with the winner. So let's talk about this. Greg, you can tell us the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pulled out a win 27-24 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody in the world picked Tampa to win this game. How'd they pull it out?
They pulled that out because Pittsburgh was stupid enough to let them stay in it.
Yep.
It was just pretty much like I said before. It was just like I said before the show started. It was just like a heavyweight fight. You sat there and you for 14 rounds, you beat the crap out the guy, you beat the crap out the guy, you beat the crap out the guy, and you turn around in the 15th round at the last freaking minute and you let the guy throw a haymaker on your ass because you miss a left hook and he just nailed you and you're out.
Because you were tired from beating his ass.
Apparently.
You were exhausted. You were so exhausted from beating that ass that you had a moment where you took a break.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, when you miss, when I'm referring missing that left hook and getting hit with the haymaker was when Brad Wing shanked that punt that actually gave them good field position, which they were able to drive down and end up scoring in that game. But overall, I mean, pretty much just Pittsburgh blew that game. They lost it more than they Tampa Bay beat them in all reality.
Joe, did you hear that Antonio Brown, who by the way had the coolest dang celebration, I thought, and he got in trouble for it, but he was embarrassed, guys, by this loss. He came out and said it, and he said he was embarrassed that they got beat by the worst team in the NFL. He said something like that, like one of the worst teams that beat them. How do you feel, Joey? How much did that surprise you?
Shocked me, especially after the way Pittsburgh looked when they played us 2 weeks ago. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a typo. When I was seeing it scroll along the bottom of the screen, I said, oh, they had to have gotten that score wrong. I mean, what can you say? Lovie Smith kept the team, in it and stole it at the end.
Scott, isn't our boy Gerald McCoy the one defensive tackle in the NFL that can read? Is he out there like playing with one arm?
Basically.
One hand. He's still got the function of the rest of the arm.
Okay.
When you got a club and you're a defensive lineman, it could be an asset at points. Yeah, you want to get a grip, but you're not going to get a holding penalty either. You just club up, good to go.
Yeah.
You're just going to get an attempted murder charge.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. When Rashid Hageman hurt his hand in training camp, I was like, yeah, just club it up. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if the hand slap was back in vogue, yeah, he'd be all right.
Yeah, but instead you just got to do the club move right under the armpit and throw them on their side.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: Is this a fluke, guys, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did this, or are they on the rise?
I mean, we all saw that Lovie Smith's going to have a better team this year in some ways, but I mean, come on. This ain't the greatest Tampa Bay Buccaneers team we've ever seen.
Oh no, but I mean, are they the worst?
They're not the worst either. They're probably a 4-12 team.
Yeah,
they're gonna win 4 games somehow.
It's just they play better under Glennon with Glennon compared to what they did McGowan. I would give you that. But for the most part, I mean, Doug Martin was back, McCoy was back. Different compared to the Atlanta game where they missed a lot of those guys. They didn't have them. They had them in this game. But for the most part, are they on an upswing? Too soon to say. It's only one game, because they're going to turn around. They play New Orleans. I don't even know how the hell that's going to turn out.
It's going to turn out like this echo in my head right now.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I'm hearing echo now.
Okay. All right. Let's go on, and I can hear it loudly. Good Lord. I hate my damn computer here.
Sorry. You should get a new one then.
It is new. It's new. It's just I hate my computer skills. Okay. Echo and all. Why don't we talk about Atlanta? What happens with these cats? And that will go in order because the Saints played, and we just will barely talk about my Panthers. Joe, you can talk about them if you want. Did you guys play at 1 o'clock, Scott?
No, they played at 4.
No, we played at 4.
Okay, then we'll talk about the Panthers game. Let's keep it in order.
Yep.
All right, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Carolina Panthers went to Baltimore.
Charm City.
To meet the salty dog,
Steve Smith.
Good Lord. And it's just been he called up and rubbed salt in the wound today on the radio, essentially.
Yes, he did.
And said, we beat your ass. I beat your ass. Joey, we went to Baltimore, and it didn't look good. And our defense was the problem. Once again.
And we had talked about the previous week manning up and imposing the will of, your will on somebody else. And that's exactly what Baltimore did to us. They imposed their will on us. We were just hoping that it would be the other way around. But no, didn't work out like that. Steve Smith had a tremendous game. No denying that. No denying it.
But it wasn't the difference, really.
But it wasn't just him. It was it was just a beatdown. They took our manhood, basically.
I agree. Our defense, you got to wonder if that all of a sudden, we're such a team that's built for that. We're a team that's trying to keep you to 20, and really we want to keep you to 16 or 15, or something like that. And and then hopefully just outscore you by a field goal. But that's not going to happen with this defense because we can't even get it. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are more aggressive on defense than us right now. So, is it going to get better?
Well, I was hoping it would get better. I was hoping that we would see some inspired play from Frank Alexander, who had the best.
Yeah, right.
Who had the best training camp ever, and he was going to come back and have a Rudy moment and just propel the team to victory this week.
Frank.
Yeah, out of all the people, acting like my man is a Hall of Famer who got suspended for 4 games and coming out. Is he won't gonna help any? I mean, he would have helped. It would have made the team worse. But now we won't see him. They said he will be available for Week 15.
Yes, the Browns.
Why would you even play a guy? What would you be doing at that point? Would you just be like cutting people left and right? Like, you're not gonna be on this team anymore. You're not gonna be on this team anymore. Frankie played 1 game. That's so silly. Panthers are in trouble, guys, and when I say in trouble is that if they don't get their defensive pass rush working, we just ain't going to win games this year.
What the hell happened? Is Greg Hardy that important?
Yes, I think that is part of it, yes. That Greg Hardy is he is more valuable to that defensive line than we had anticipated.
Yeah, you think about last year, he was a beast. You know, he was the absolute beast last year, and that was a huge difference for you guys.
We know how tremendous of a pass rusher he is, there's no doubt, but I think we really underestimated his run-stopping ability. Because they're gashing us.
Rhetorical question, guys.
Well, there you go.
I underestimated any of this. I think that's why we gave him the damn franchise tag.
But he also expected to throw his girlfriend onto a pile of guns.
Yep. So you got $13 million sitting at home.
We're giving away $13 million.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling that there's going to be some fines coming his way to where he's going to be getting about 3 of that 13.
Yeah, probably.
I would like to throw a stat here at you guys. Okay. Last time the Panthers lost 2 games by the margin of victory consecutively that they did was in 1998. Guess what their record was that year?
1-15. No.
4-12.
Oh, because it was 99. They went 1-15, right?
I think that's right.
Or 2000. It was when Julius Peppers got drafted.
So is this the year that you guys are really expecting, or that a lot of us were expecting last year to be with Ron Rivera as head coach?
Yeah.
Basically, like, this is the year Ron Rivera gets fired, is what last year felt like.
It's probably coming down to that.
Like, if
I don't know
4-12, does he get fired?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he's earned enough for him to have 1 more year because if you look offensive line, that was not his fault. He can't control what they do as far as personnel, bringing in personnel. He's got to play with the cards that are dealt to him.
So you're saying that he's a decent cook, but he's getting dog shit for groceries.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Well, see,
okay.
I disagree with that. I think they hit lightning in the bottle last year, which saved his ass, and it kept him from getting fired. This year, right here, I think they wanted him out, but they wanted to give him give him enough rope to hang himself. He didn't hang himself last year. This year, if they turn around and they go 4-12 and they don't make the playoffs, he's gone. I absolutely think he is out of there.
I don't think so. Here, this is why.
Look, start coach shopping, because I tell you right now, he go 4-12, his ass is out in the cold. Promise you.
I think that you might have been right had this offseason not been so difficult on Dave Gettleman's reputation. So what you have is you have Dave Gettleman, who came in last year as a new GM, and he was able to piece together a team, like you said, that what most people think overperformed. I think it was a good team. I think they were a good team. I think that's what it was. But Gettleman looked like a hero, right? Mm-hmm. So then Gettleman then runs Steve Smith and Jordan Gross kind of too as well, because he was so salty with Jordan Gross that we didn't get another year out of him. You know,
Jordan Gross wanted to retire, period.
I agree, but what if there might have been a way to beg him to stay.
No, he's already said multiple times he planned it from the minute he took that first snap in that first game. He goes, "Man, this is my last year, and I don't want to retirement year."
But a lot of that has to do because when Gettleman came in and gave him that 1-year deal, that it wasn't a good negotiation. Like, it wasn't pleasant for Jordan Gross. So he didn't really. So once he got the Pro Bowl, I understand what you're saying, but I think that if he would have handled it from the beginning differently, he might not have felt that way on day one as much. But the other thing is that
I think he took so much punishment over the years. He was
caught up with him.
Good.
I can understand that, but he had a good season. He had a Pro Bowl year. So then Gettleman he looks good because he puts together this group of misfits essentially to play roles that we are terrible in, and then that defense just dominated. But then he handled the Steve Smith thing, and it was crappy, right? And it's turned ugly. And Dave Gettleman almost got away with it with Panther fans had not this Greg Hardy crap gone down, had not we played Steve Smith again this year. So all of this. So I think now Gettleman, if he fires Rivera, will look like a total douchebag.
I agree.
And so I don't think he can. I think he would have. I think you guys were right, maybe, if it wasn't this bad with all the scandal.
Well, I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Gettleman doesn't give a rat's ass how he looks to anybody. Because
I know. Have you seen those pants?
Yeah. I have not, but the reason I say that, because you look at it like this. Steve Smith has been like the face of that franchise for years. He would have never. Yeah. I mean, you think he would have let him go in a little bit easier way, a little more respectful way? You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when you get cut, it's never easy, but it's ways to do things the right way. In this sense, I don't think he cares. I think he doesn't want Rivera there, but he wanted to, like I said, he had to ride with Rivera right now. I think Rivera.
Well, if it's true, if it really is that hard and tough, you guys are right then, because Rivera, talk about the shittiest job right now. Like, his whole job is dealing with the press about Steve Smith, about Greg Hardy. Like, his last part of his day is coaching football. So it's terrible. It's terrible. It's a soap opera. From the team.
And he's not even giving that, just let me coach football, I don't give a shit response that he should be giving.
Yeah. I mean, he could just be salty back and be like, I'm a football coach. Exactly.
Because that's what I would do. I'd be like, I would give the Belichick. It's irrelevant what they are doing to my football team.
Exactly.
Greg Hardy's not here. As of right now, he's suspended. So as of right now, he's not part of this football team. I'm worried about the 53 guys in front of my face, not the 53
who are doing steroids.
Not the 10 who are out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't, because and that's the thing too. If he's out there doing PR work, which that's not his job. His job is to be head coach and go out there and get that and prepare a team. But if he's most time at a podium, he's not preparing the team. So he's not watching film and trying to figure out strategies to beat the next opponent.
I think it's a mess. I think you're right. I mean, it's a mess.
And Gettleman has to get that load off of him one way or another, whether he goes out there and he stands out there and take the fireball questions or not, but don't have your coach having to answer those questions. the coach should be able to say, like, screw y'all. That's not my deal. You know what I mean? If he ain't here, I can't do anything with him. And
Yeah, he wasn't remarkably successful when he didn't have all these problems.
Yeah.
You know, good luck, Rivera. I hope you have a good year. It's going to be tough. I'm interested to see. Right now, I do think that he will survive it. I don't think we're going to win 4. I think we're a 6-win team, 7-win team at this moment. Maybe if we get a little bit better, we can be in that range. If we're playing right now like we played in the last 2 weeks, you guys are right. 4 wins. I mean, guys, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a slaughterhouse. So why don't we go ahead and talk about somebody else and their problems?
Okay.
Because
it doesn't matter to me.
4 o'clock game, right? Atlanta went to a high school football field.
It's a
college field. That was a college.
It was a college, my bad.
University of Minnesota, yeah, I know.
Spanked. Y'all got spanked by a quarterback with thin ankles and wrists.
Which means nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Not at all.
And I could embarrass you about the size of the stadium because you're gonna like.
Is it huge? Is it like I don't even know where they played at. I was just. What is it?
I think it is.
Tell me, how big is it? Is it like a Rose Bowl? You know,
it's like 50 or 60,000 people.
It's 51,000.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's a good stadium.
So for comparison, the Panthers have a 72,000. The Falcons have a 71,000. I think the Saints have like a 90,000, but that's just because the Superdome's retardedly big.
Is it really that big?
I think it's like
the Superdome's ridiculous.
75, 80, maybe.
No,
I think it's 90. But maybe I'm wrong.
It's 90,000.
You're probably right.
Wow.
That's big.
That's a lot of folks.
That's like University of Georgia big.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about this, because actually the college stadium the town I live in, they seat about 51, 52 at the max.
Joe, the Citadel, about 5,100 max.
Oh wow,
they're 20,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, but I'm talking about actual attendance.
That's another story. Yes.
The entire school showed up.
No, because they made us.
Yeah, mandatory. Okay, so
football watching. I'd rather watch the SEC.
You don't want to talk about the Falcons. That's clear. So,
I mean, they didn't allow a touchdown pass. They did allow Matt Asiata to run all over him. I'm more worried about that than I'm worried about Teddy Bridgewater. Like, I knew Teddy Bridgewater was going to get his yards. Because he's way better than anybody was giving him credit for. I knew Teddy Bridgewater was going to get his, 60% completion percentage, going to get his yards, going to get his, potentially a touchdown or two.
He got a touchdown on the ground.
On the ground, and that's not shocking. That's not shocking. I mean, Atlanta's awful against mobile quarterbacks, and I like Teddy Bridgewater. And he did his thing. I'm more worried about Jerick McKinnon's 135 yards, Matt Asiata's 78 yards, allowing a 5.5 yard per carry average.
Ooh, that hurts.
The play action just.
I know that feeling.
On every play action.
We know that feeling. That 5.1 yards a carry.
Yeah. But the thing is, the Falcons ran for 5.6 themselves.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell's going on with the run game this year, but it's actually decent.
Yeah.
And then Minnesota, Jarris Wright just going off. Like, he never played football before in his life, and then Sunday, he was like, man, I'm reborn. I got a quarterback who knows how to hit me in stride.
Yeah.
How did the kid that what's Joey? What's the guy that everybody loves in Minnesota?
Cordero?
Cordero. How did he look?
2 catches for 38 yards. They put Desmond Trufant on him, but all but one play.
Yeah, he barely was involved in that game.
He was very pedestrian numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the game myself, and I mean, like I said, because remember I said I wanted to pick Minnesota, but I was not.
That's
afraid that they would not. That run game was not going to produce anything, and that's what was the whole difference. It kept you guys off balance. When they could run the ball, you had no idea what the hell they were going to do because they could do anything they wanted.
If you can run the ball, you get to. I mean, that means you're winning the war at the line of scrimmage generally. But you guys couldn't. What was going on? I guess. Do you have any? Tell us about your offensive line. Can you name
I'm not as worried about the offensive line.
Well, what's happening? Well, tell us for the people that that don't follow Atlanta so much. From what I heard, you guys don't even have you're holding tryouts for it.
Well, yeah, they're holding tryouts for the 9th spot on the line so that they can have someone at practice. Because that's what you do when you've only got 9 guys on your roster and 2 of them go on injured reserve, and one of them's got some back issues right now. Justin Blaylock had some back spasms. He's probably still having some issues right now. And he's never missed a snap the last 7 years. He's that good. So Blaylock, maybe not. Joe Hawley tore something in his knee, probably his ACL, and he's out for the season. Lamar Holmes, likely Liz Frank injury. He's out for the season. And Lamar Holmes was finally looking decent. Through the first 4 games, he'd allowed 1 quarterback hit and 6 hurries, and that's it. Now, for comparison, last year he allowed 2 sacks, 5 hits, and 19 hurries. So he went from complete and total crap to at least league average, if not good as a pass blocker. So they lose those 2 guys.
How do you recover from that? How are you not worried about when you lose guys? I mean, they're not coming back. I mean, those are tough positions to replace, aren't they?
They're tough positions to replace, but at the same time, Jake Matthews is healthy, and he's made the biggest difference in the world on that offense. John Asamoah is healthy, and Atlanta hasn't had a good right guard since Harvey Dahl, which now that they do, it feels like they can somewhat hold the depth of the pocket. Harlan Gunn's a decent pass blocker. Awful run blocker, but decent pass blocker. So he can at least hold up. Peter Kahns I'm not as worried about either because when he's got 2 guards surrounding him, making sure that he's not screwing up, he can be okay. And then at right tackle, Gabe Karimi looked good in the preseason. He's been fighting injuries his whole career. Mm-hmm. He may not be great, but he was a first-round pick at right tackle for a reason. I mean, it's not like he was awful in college, and Atlanta's scheme right now is very similar to the one that was run up in Wisconsin when they were in college, when both Kahns and Karimi were up there. So it's not like it's going to hurt either one of them. The question that you lose, the big thing that you lose is with Hawley, you lose that unquestioned leader up front, that Todd McClure-type leader that Atlanta hadn't had or hadn't let Hawley be in the past 2 years until this year, where he looked great at it. Then you also lose that just big brute at right tackle. Those are the big things that you lose. And the toughness. Holmes and Hawley were the only guys in 2012 to stand up for Matt Ryan. Now, this year you see Asamoah and Matthews, and, Blaylock kind of wanders over, but Blaylock's a soft dude. It's just what he is. He's I like him. He's a good player, but you can tell when a guy's there for the money, and he knows he has to perform to a certain level, and that's what he's doing. That's what Blaylock's doing.
So you're saying that Jake Matthews, having those guys good enough, pulls up the quality of the overall line enough to where these other guys can be schematic fills?
Yes, because as we saw with the Panthers last year, when you've got a guy playing out of his mind at left tackle, it really makes the offensive line as a whole look better.
All right, I got one last question about this game.
True.
One last question about this game, and it is this. I thought that, to me, Matt Ryan seems to be an inconsistent quarterback. I didn't get to watch this game, and what I mean by that, man,
You should probably watch the game.
I'm just saying is this. Tell us how his performance was. Was it a strong performance, or is this something that kind of goes into that conversation of, all right, was this is any to blame on Matt Ryan in this game at all?
There's no blame that you can put on Matt Ryan for this game. It'd be absolutely intellectually dishonest to put any blame on Matt Ryan. Because those 2 interceptions both happened because of pressure from the right tackle when Levine Toilolo was playing right tackle. Okay?
Is that the Giant?
Yes.
That's the Giant. That's the Undertaker.
That's the Undertaker.
Instead of playing tight end, was playing right tackle because Atlanta had 3 offensive line injuries. I've never seen a tight end play right tackle. I've been watching football as long as I've been alive.
Did he win the position?
He was decent as a pass blocker. He was awful as a run blocker.
Right.
But he was, let's put it this way. The only reason why he was decent as a pass blocker was because they were saying, hey, Bear Pasco, we're going to throw you out there with him. You two are going to be the right tackle combined. Because maybe they won't be able to run through 520 pounds and 6'6" to 6'8". One guy covers the inside, the other guy covers the outside. Like, that's the emergency Falcons tight end or right tackle situation.
Well, we're going to be doing that with our fullback right now. You're going to see some Brandon Williams, Joe, at fullback. We're moving a tight end to fullback. So we're in, obviously
that's not a big move.
It's not like a right tackle, but what it shows is
260 pounds.
Yeah, what it shows though is the thinness.
Ovi Mahaley was 260 pounds.
Yeah, but he wasn't 6'5".
Whatever. Marcel Reese is 6'3", 240.
Okay, let's go to the other death match because the Undertaker obviously visited Dallas because
yes, he did.
y'all got stomped, man. The score I don't even think is reflective of how bad that stomping was. What went wrong in that game, Greg? Other than everything. I know that's the answer I would go with.
Yeah, everything, but I don't know. I guess you start out with the fact that the passing game was not as crisp or as good as you usually see it. I think if you start on offense, I think one of the first things they got to face in the mirror and just look at without a doubt, they got it with Marcus Colston. He's no longer that number 1 receiver anymore.
No.
I knew he was on the decline for the last couple of years. This year right here, he's off that cliff now. So it's time to kind of pull him back. The other question is which one of those other 5 guys are going to take that number 1 spot? And that's the other problem is I don't see anybody else stepping up and being that number 1 guy. So that's got to be addressed because I don't think they can leave him there. But I think one of the other guys got to act like they want the position, whether Steve or somebody. Number 2, I think they need to bring out Joe Morgan. A lot of times they've had him as a healthy scratch. This dude's got a lot of speed and he can really get down the field. I think it'd help with the long ball by bringing him out there. That you can stretch him out, help stretch the field a little bit. Because right now they really don't have that long ball anymore, or they're not throwing the long passes, so they're not able to stretch that defense out and kind of get underneath. So I'm not seeing a lot of that. Number 2, I think.
You also got to remember the Dallas defense is terrible.
Yeah, well, Actually, I mean, their defense has actually been playing a lot better over the last couple of weeks than what people had figured.
What it was last year.
But then what they're like compared to last year, I mean, they definitely improved compared to last year.
Okay.
I will give them that. So I mean, I got to give props to Rob Marinelli out there, who's the defense coordinator now. I think he's done a pretty good job out there. And I guess Linehan with the play call on the offensive side has done pretty well.
Man,
He's actually got
DeMarco Murray has been unbelievable.
He has.
How weird is it that the passing game coordinator is the reason why they're running the ball more?
I know. That's very interesting, isn't it? That's very, very interesting on that one. You know, but
he's the offensive coordinator, and then Callahan's just the line coach.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's all it is. That's exactly what it is. But I mean, either way, I mean, it's working for them, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Is go out there and run the ball and everything. So I got to give props to Dallas and everything on their end. The problem was that I had with our coaching end.
Every line coach does the scheme for the run game. Every single line coach out there does a scheme for the run game.
Yeah.
So, like, Callahan is responsible for some of that success, you're saying?
Oh, he is. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, who's your line coach? John Matsko is the reason for your failure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, overall, at the same time, I felt like that even though Dallas was doing what they were doing, I didn't. Generally, you give Peyton a lot of credit for being an in-game manager, a guy who can, in the middle of a game, can kind of change up strategies or change up things and find those soft spots, depending on what you're doing and beat you. I have not seen that nearly as much this year. I have not. It seems like that they're playing more confused than they're playing to be a little bit smarter, a lot strategy. So he's not finding those weak spots, like he used to. So I don't know why it is, but I mean, some of that's in coaching. I mean, the defense. I don't even know what the hell to say there. I mean, I'm definitely disappointed with the performance because I know they have more talent now than they've ever had in years.
And they made big strides last year.
Yeah,
from the year before. They made huge strides from the year before.
Oh, so absolutely.
I thought they were just going to continue to progress.
Right. And general trainer thought, most anybody would think that, okay, they were number 4 defense. You can't imagine them dropping down to 29. You know what I mean? That just, that's like, that's falling off the face of the damn earth. Right. It's as simple as that. And so, I don't know what it is with it, what the problem is. I think part of it, they got a lot of really young guys. That defense is really, really young. If you looked at that whole roster, very few guys there are like your grizzled veterans or anything like that. You got a lot of really, really young players. But at the same time, it's got a lot of talent on that team, too, that they should be doing a lot better than what they're doing. Mm-hmm.
Does Rob Ryan survive this season?
If this team goes 4-12, no.
What if they go 7-8? What if they go 7-8, 7-9, or even 8-8?
Well, here's the question: does Sean Payton survive that?
I think.
Of course.
Payton survives.
Payton
survives that. Payton will slide. They'll let Payton slide with that. Payton has built up enough capital.
Well, the reason why I say 7-9, 11-5, and then 4-12 again, you'd be like, hold on. What's going on
but
here?
you got to remember, Payton wasn't there at 79. Payton wasn't there in that 79 season.
He was suspended for the whole year.
He was suspended. Every year he's been there, they made the playoffs except for since the other 2 years.
And they have like the sickest home record ever.
Exactly. And that's their saving grace actually this year. This is
their first. That's your first and second year. I think like their first and second year under Payton, they didn't.
No, the first year they actually made it to the NFC Championship game, but lost to Chicago that year.
Oh, that's right.
The second and third year they were 7-9 and 8-8, and then that next year that they went to the Super Bowl, and they pretty much made the playoffs every year until the Bounty Gate system year.
Didn't him and Drew Brees come there together?
They did. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
So all that success has been with them being like married.
Exactly. Joined at the hip.
All right, let's get. I think we need to move past the depressing game some.
Yes.
Because we got stomped, and this has not even been a fun chat to this point because of that.
No, it's been a little bit of heartbreak.
I was going to say that we should pick a. Joey had suggested we pick an MVP from the NFC South, and I'm going to pick the Steelers punter because everybody else got killed. Let's just move on past it. All right, let's talk about a division game first. Saints, to stay on the topic of the Saints. You guys gonna bounce back this week, right, Greg?
Well, we're playing Tampa at home. Generally, I mean, I think that they do win that game against Tampa. When I said I don't know what the hell is going to happen, because I know that if they let Tampa stay close, anything can happen. That's the thing. So they really got to come out there pumped. Like I said, I mean, I think the only saving grace they got this year is that if they can win all 8 games at home this year, and maybe if they can pull 1 or 2 road games, if they pull 1 or 2 road games out this year, they got a shot at the playoffs, maybe the division title, the way it's going, the way this season's going for everybody. But I mean, that's the only thing that might save them this year. But I mean, overall, this is a home game, and then they take the bye week, and they really get this crap straight. And I mean, they got to demote whoever they got to demote or whatever. But I think they play Tampa. They think they can beat Tampa. I'm not professing that they're gonna beat about 2-3 touchdowns, anything like that. All I care about is that they come out there. They got more points than Tampa. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah, this is where I root for Tampa because, I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah,
anytime that Tampa Bay is better than the Saints, it's a good year.
Yeah. I can imagine.
A win, Joey, for Tampa Bay in Atlanta would be insanely good for the Carolina Panthers.
You mean New Orleans?
Yeah, the Tampa Bay in New Orleans. If they beat the Saints, that would be an immensely important, helpful win for a team that is also struggling to find an identity as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? My question: what do you think about how is New Orleans going to win this game? Is there going to be offense that carries them and takes the leadership role? Is Rob Ryan going to be able to put together a defense that can or is it got to be all fronts?
It's got to be defense. I mean, the offense I think can get back on track. I think the offense can be fine and going to get back on track. I mean, they were horrid in Dallas, and the last couple of weeks they haven't been that strong. Not nearly what they usually are. You'll see flashes of it, but you don't see it the full game. But right now, it's all on the defense. I think the defense has to come up there and show up and play like they were capable of playing, because that's the only thing that's going to really that's their hope right there. I mean, if the defense plays well, I think the offense will be fine.
Let me see. I was trying to find. Right now, the Saints are favored by 10.
Yeah, that's too damn much. That's too. I think that's too much right now.
Scott, what do you think about that? Do you think it's going to be a disparity like that?
10 points with how healthy the Buccaneers are starting to get. I don't see that. A healthy Buccaneers team is one that can compete against NFC South teams.
Yes.
Maybe not against anybody else, but it can compete against NFC South teams.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Because, I mean, New Orleans Tampa game is close.
We suck the least is going to be the motto of the division winner.
I agree with that, but you still wonder if our suckiness is better than a couple of divisions out there in the NFL, and I think certainly. I mean, I don't think we're at the bottom of our numbers are just terrible right now.
AFC East is pretty bad.
Yes. And so is actually, Scott, what do you think about the NFC East? They've got Philadelphia. They've got the Giants that have been on the come for the last 2 weeks, and as well, Dallas. you guys are going to New York and are 4-point dogs. What do you think? It's close.
When you take out the home field advantage for New York, it's really 1-point dog.
Right.
I think we're going to look at a shootout. I think when you look into a shootout, Atlanta wins, but I'm talking like 45-42.
I don't really think it's going to be that much. I think the Giants' defense is a whole lot better than you think.
Is your defense that bad, Scott?
Yes, but the offense is also that good in Atlanta. They're second in yards. They're first in yards. They're second in points.
Yeah, but the Giants' defense is a lot better than you think, Scott. I don't see anybody getting no 40 points.
They wiped the floor with the Vikings defense, and the Vikings defense was better than we think. Now, one thing I will say: how the hell is Robert Ayers a decent pass rusher in New York when he was never one out in Colorado? That doesn't even make sense.
Didn't New York get wiped? Didn't they get a lot of points put on them in the very first game of the season?
Hold on. I'm seeing who he's playing against. Most of his pressures and sacks. Detroit, no right guard, no right tackle. Arizona, their right tackle's garbage. Houston, their right tackle's garbage. Yeah. Washington, their right tackle's garbage. Okay.
Didn't Arizona put up a lot of points on them?
25-14. Detroit put up 35-14.
That was the Detroit game. That's what it was. All right. So you think it's going to be a high-scoring game and you guys pull it out?
Yeah, and I think the reason why people think that New York defense is so much better is they played two teams without quarterbacks in Houston and when you've got Kirk Cousins throwing air punts to you, you're going to have 7 interceptions.
Air punts.
Pretty much.
Sorry, arm punts.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he was brutal in that. He was. I can't even disagree with that. He was terrible.
I thought...
how do you throw 4 of your 5 interceptions in one game?
Right.
I thought the Giants were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, so I don't buy the 2-game that it's all of a sudden clicking. I mean, unless Eli Manning is just so freaking weird that he can look like Corky out there in weeks 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, he's back to old Peyton. If he's that schizophrenic, man, I don't trust it. So I think that you guys got. I mean, it's not going to be an easy win by any means, but I think it's going to pull out. I don't think the Giants are that good, just simply put. But maybe they are. Maybe they're just playing, good coaching and some stuff. Who knows?
I'm
all
going
7
Giants.
of their interceptions are against Houston and Washington.
Don't they? And I think Odell Beckham Jr. might be coming back starting. First game ever.
That could be a big push for them because he's a playmaker and that dude can go.
Yeah,
he can.
Yeah, but first game starting.
Yeah, he's not a Kelvin Benjamin.
No, he's like going to be more refined.
He's better than Calvin Benjamin when he's healthy, but
yeah.
He's got to get there first.
Yeah, I mean, because what is he battling, a hamstring injury?
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, it was a leg injury.
And that, for a guy that runs a 4.3, that can be just such a pain in the ass.
It can. Yeah, but I would imagine if they got him out there, he's got to be healthy enough to be able to do what he can do. Because I can't imagine they put him out there and he's limping. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, it would make any sense. It would make any sense. You do better send them out. But like I say, I think the Giants. I think the fact that Atlanta, much like New Orleans, are having troubles on the road. I think the Giants win that game. Close, and I think you're right. It's going to be close, but I don't. Is it going to be a shootout?
I think it's going to be a track meet because you got 2 awful defenses playing each other.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go 34-31. Giants.
Oh, I need to be writing this down if we're making picks. I just was saying, so the defense is, and this is something that we have talked about on this show a couple of times, is that pass rush. You don't have a pass rush. Is that the true weakness, Scott? Because you said on this show that the linebackers have ability when the situation's right, and that you got a good secondary. So is it like what's happening in Carolina at this moment? Zero pass rush, which then leads to
Atlanta hasn't had a pass rush except for one game, and it just happened to be the one game that they played a lot of Corey Peters, a lot of Stanley Mapanga, a lot of Jonathan Massaquoi, a lot of Rashid Hageman as the nose tackle next to Jonathan Babineau inside. I mean, I'm just saying, there's times when you see these guys go out, and you're like, you know what? They're probably better than the guys starting, but they're not starting because they're fourth-round picks who are on rookie contracts, and Atlanta's paying, Killer Croy Bierman because he's awful. He's killing the defense. I hate Croy Bierman, man.
I like Croy. I'm a big fan.
I hate Croy Bierman.
As long as he sucks, I love him.
I like
as long as he sucks on the bench, I'm okay with it. Go play bench. You can be bad there. No one complains. Yeah, no, dude. He should be a bench warmer at this point. He's awful. There's no reason for him to be starting in an NFL game for an NFL team at defensive end at 248 pounds, probably soaking wet with all his pads on.
Yeah, that's pretty light.
Yeah, for a defensive end, it is.
That's light.
Like, he should be playing. Atlanta should move back to a 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Play guys in the right spots, like Tyson Jackson at left end. And then rotate Malachi Goodman with him. At under tackle, rotate Peters and Babineau. At nose tackle, rotate Hageman and Soliai. At right end, rotate Massaquoi and Osi. And just do that. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work and you go back to the scheme that's already not working?
Right.
Change something. And you'd at least have linebackers in the right position. Like, Croy Bierman can play strong side linebacker in the 4-3 when he's got a guy in front of him eating up double teams, playing a 5 or a 6 tech.
Well, yeah, that's a little different.
Tyson Jackson would.
But yeah, if he's the one that got to eat up the tackles, you're in trouble.
Let me read you.
You can't do that.
Let me read you some numbers here from best to worst in rushing defenses. Tampa Bay at 18.
What?
Carolina at 29. Atlanta at 30.
Jeez.
That's the problem, folks.
What about New Orleans?
You guys are 23.
Okay.
Now, what about yards per attempt?
Okay, so it goes, Tampa Bay is 3.7 per attempt. New Orleans, 4.4.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Atlanta's better than Carolina on run defense?
Listen to this.
How the hell does that happen?
Carolina is giving up 5.7 yards per attempt.
What?
And Atlanta is 4.5.
So are y'all just stepping back and letting them run through?
Basically, yes.
They're playing that Spanish Matador defense.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, yeah, it's definitely Matador. Olé!
Here on the field. Olé.
We played 2 teams, and you know what's crazy though? I want to give you guys the stats. Oh, I think I could get it on Football Outsiders. I think that most of that came in the second 2 games. So I think we averaged 2.7 against the run in games 1 and 2, and then after games 3 and 4, it goes to
5.7.
5.7.
Wow.
Yes.
So what the hell happened?
Greg Hardy got benched.
Yeah. But we gave up 260 some yards to the damn Steelers.
Yeah, they killed you. I mean, I saw they manhandled the crap out of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a divisional problem, though, guys.
Yeah, it is.
This
Absolutely.
is something that is not limited to any one team in this division. The best against the run is 18. They're tied with Cleveland, Tampa. I mean, here, look at this. Is right now Tampa is allowing yards per game. Tampa is 115. New Orleans is 123. Carolina is 140. And Atlanta is 153.
So we're better than you two. We're better than your two teams in the
Though, to be fair,
but it's still nothing to be bragging
Atlanta
about.
has the third most rushing attempts against them out of any team in the league right now.
I can believe it.
Kind of ridiculous.
Well, you think about you made Matt Asiato and McKinnon. What's his name? McKinnon. You made those guys look like Pro Bowlers.
Hey, I hate to tell you guys this.
McKinnon's a good player.
Oh, he is a good player. Oh, no, he is.
Like, he went in the third round, and I was like, man, he's going to be a steal in the third round.
Oh, no, but like I was saying, like last week, because, I mean, when they played New Orleans, like I said, you can see the talent there. He just wasn't ready at the time. You know what I mean? To take that mantle. But I guess in that week, they got him.
I hate to use another Falcons example, but it just made me think of it. Matt Asiata is T.J. Duckett. He's good at one job and one job only. Hey, let's take our Pro Bowl fullback and pop the linebacker in the hole and just run right behind him. You're good.
What's the problem with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, but he only takes what the fullback and everybody else gives him, which is like 4 yards.
Right.
Which is way better than what our running backs are doing, which is not taking anything.
Well, no. Now, Jerick McKinnon is a lot like Warwick Dunn.
Yeah, he is.
Where he can be the big play guy, got some moves, value as a receiver.
Yeah, and you put him in space, you're in trouble.
Like Teddy bootleg the way Mike Vick used to, only he's way better as a passer.
Hey, Scott, can you tell us what the average, when you said that the Falcons were third in the league in attempts, rushing attempts against? Can you tell us the other ranks for the other teams? Because here is what I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. If things don't change on every one of our teams, it's going to be the first, second, and third attempts against with these defenses.
So Atlanta's third in most attempts against. Tampa Bay is 6th. New Orleans is tied for 10th. And Carolina is right at 17th.
So they're not even running at you guys.
They're not really running a lot at Carolina.
But
they're still gaining a lot of yards.
You know why? Here's the thing. There's an easy answer to this. It doesn't take many attempts to get downfield.
Well, you know what the real issue is with Atlanta's defense? Is the touchdowns they allow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they've allowed 4.5 yards.
9. You allowed 9 rushing touchdowns.
And the second place team has allowed 5.
Wow.
We've only allowed 3.
Atlanta's allowed almost double what the second place, on a bad stat, second place.
What about New Orleans? New Orleans is where probably 4 or 5.
The Saints are tied for 5th.
Okay.
They've allowed 4.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they didn't get run on as much. It's more the passing game that hurts them in the usually on defense.
Well, no, Atlanta's red zone defense has been garbage this year, and this has just given me pretty much every little bit of insight that I need.
Yeah, no doubt.
But their pass defense in the red zone's been good. Which, why pass it if you can just run it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing with what I'm saying with the reason Carolina doesn't have a lot of attempts against them is because people are just jacking off 20-yard runs.
Yeah, if you can do that, you ain't got.
I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's one way to put it.
yeah. All right, but I mean, that's the truth. And so.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's talk about this Panthers for a second, guys, because I think this is the Panthers are hosting the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, also a team that the Chicago Bears could fit in the NFC South just fine because they're schizophrenic as well, and that is at times they look good, at times Jay Cutler looks good, and then at other times he reminds you he's got diabetes. So,
Jim Malcolmson.
Yeah, I'm worried about this in many ways. I don't know if we'll learn a lot about Rivera and this team and the mental toughness of this. Joey, tell us a little bit about the matchup. You've been taking a nap over there.
Well, I think I think Frank Alexander coming back is really going to be. That's not happening. No, this for the Panthers is a must win. It's as simple as that. We're at home. We've had consecutive beatdowns, and we have to win this game just to preserve our dignity, if for nothing else, to take back our manhood that we've had robbed from us over the course of the past 2 weeks.
Well, we're going to find out if there is any, because if they take it back, then it existed. If they don't take it back, Scott can sit over there and say, "What manhood?" every week until they do.
So we do, they're loaded on offense. The Bears are forte. The two giants at receivers. They got a really dominant
Twin Towers.
They got a dominant tight end this year. Bennett is killing it. He is absolutely killing it. So we'll get a good test. We will get a good test of what we're made of. Are we men or are we mice? We will find out.
Do you, Joey, believe that playing against former Carolina Panther Jimmy Clausen is going to weigh on this team in this matchup?
No, I don't think at all. I don't think one bit. Nobody misses him.
Sorry. So is it going to be the same distraction that?
No.
I'm
let's get hurt.
I think.
What if Jimmy Clausen came in and threw the winning touchdown pass against us? What would you do?
Not happening.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even going to happen.
That would be the worst thing ever.
And then everybody would be saying, "Oh, they should have never let Clausen go. They should have held on to him." Can you imagine this team now with Jimmy Clausen on it?
Steve Smith.
Come on.
Telling him he was stupid and he's going to beat his little lily white ass. That's probably what Steve Smith said in the huddles. You know, Steve Smith has ended 3 dudes' careers.
Yeah, I know.
One is a guy named Benin, who was a dude off the practice squad in Steve Smith's first year, and he punched him, and supposedly the guy said that was the reason he didn't make the team, and essentially out of the league. Then 2 years later, it was some Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins, that's an actor. Something Anthony. This guy, Steve Smith, jumped him in the film room when they cut the lights out.
Oh, jeez.
They cut the lights out, and he behind him and started beating him up, and the dude sued him. Yeah, and then he punched Ken Lucas in the face.
Yep, remember that.
And then there was also the guy that played. He was
Fred Smoot.
Fred Smoot.
Yeah.
Where Steve Smith to this day tells you he ended that dude's career when he put up 250 yards on him.
Yeah.
It torched him. So Steve Smith is a career killer, dude. We got a murderer in the league.
Well, that's probably true in more than one sense.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yes, in the league, but not Steve Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think Carolina can pull this game out, but they got to put it together. I'm one with a deep sense of faith, so I believe that Carolina will win this game.
Are you at home or on the road?
We are at home. We're hosting the Bears.
Okay, that helps you.
Yeah, it does, for sure.
With that, well, why don't we go ahead and then just jump into the picks, because I don't even know why I even do this every week.
It is fun.
It is fun. So let's see what we had last. Let me just copy these names real quick. All right, you guys tell me, what's the first game on the list?
Everybody plays at 1 o'clock, right?
I think so, yeah, because I think the
Didn't we
Saints
just go alphabetical?
Yeah, who's Atlanta playing? Who's Atlanta playing?
Giants.
Giants, that's right, the Giants. Okay, Greg, Giants, Atlanta, at...
you're in New York?
Is it MetLife Stadium?
Yeah, MetLife Stadium. Yep, MetLife Stadium. I got to give it to the Giants in that one, especially with Atlanta having trouble on the road as well.
Scott?
I'm going Atlanta, but come on, man, it's me. Do I really go anybody else?
Yeah, exactly.
Be honest. Tell us how bad you are, because I haven't been able to watch it. I don't got the ticket, and I got 3 kids. I haven't been going to the bars or anything, so I've just been watching the Panthers and whatever the network games are.
The Falcons aren't that bad. The issue is the defense playing guys in the wrong damn spots. If you put the right guys in the right spots, it's no big deal.
I'm picking Atlanta in this game on the road because I don't think the Giants are good, and I got to just stick by a gun this year. Joey, who you got?
I'm taking the G-Men.
All right, split. Okay. Bucs. No. Atlanta, then who? Carolina. Greg, who you got? We hosted Detroit.
Let's see.
Chicago.
We're hosting
Chicago. You're hosting Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm giving Chicago the edge. I'm going with Chicago on this one. I could be wrong on this one, but I'm going to have to go with Chicago.
Talking about Bucs? Or no, talking about Panthers in Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the game at?
In Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going Chicago on this one too. Hey, sorry guys.
That's fine.
Me too. I'm going Chicago as well. Joe, who you got? You got Panthers?
We must protect this house. So we are going Carolina.
Okay. All right, Greg, New Orleans. You guys are hosting the Tampa Bay Bucs, so we don't even have to
we already know New Orleans. Home cooking, baby.
Is that New Orleans? Who else? Scott?
I'm going with, and Greg's gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna be different and say the Bucs.
That's fine. I totally understand, because you know if you lose and you don't want me catching up to you. We don't want that happening.
I'm going even that. I think that the Bucs are a better team.
You're such
okay.
a liar, Scott.
That
is a straight up lie.
That was a straight up lie. No, I do think that the Bucs will win though, just because they're
football gods. Please let the Tampa Bay Bucs be better than the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean you better.
It's more of. I think that the Bucs are just a better road team than people are going to give them credit for. And I think Lovie Smith's kind of like, we're not that bad. Please quit talking shit about us.
I mean,
that's what I think is going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's going to be a close game. They're getting healthier. They're definitely getting healthier. It's going to be a fight. So that's why I said I'm not that whole 10 points. I think that's too much. I believe it's going to be under 10. Huh?
Oh, I'm taking Tampa Bay in a bet on that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I had actually bet. I would take 10 points in Tampa Bay if I was betting. You know what I'm saying? Betting man. I'd take 10 points in Tampa Bay in that one. That's me.
Let me ask you this, Greg, about that. Is Drew Brees strong enough as a personality to will a blowout like that? Because I think that essentially every one of these teams in our division, except for the one not represented in here, really has had their internal fortitude questioned in this season. You know, I mean, whether it's Atlanta with the defense, whether it's Carolina with the defense, whether it's New Orleans with Super Bowl, hopes. So I'm picking the Saints in this one, Greg, because I just feel like that that they're going to be like that too. Like what you're saying with what Scott's saying with Tampa Bay is like, we're not this bad,
and they're not.
And the Saints have got to be saying at this time, we are way better than we've played to this point, and we better get our shit together. So I'm picking the Saints in this. But do you think that Drew Brees is the guy that can do that? Can he will a 10-point blowout if he wanted to?
I think it comes down to they don't really have a vocal leader on defense, and I think that's a big part of the defense right now. They got guys who lead by example, but they don't have anybody who can get in somebody's face and tell them to get their crap straight. They just don't have it. So somebody got to come out there, whether it's Kenny Vaccaro, Jarvis Bird, or even Curtis Lofton. Need to get in some people's faces and just start telling, if they're screwing up, say something, and get them out, get them straightened up. Because I think you need that on-field leader. We had that with Vilma. If Vilma kind of held you accountable, he would get in your face and get on your ass. And I think Lofton leads a different way, but I need to see him get out there. So I mean, it ain't just Breeze on that offensive end. It's definitely got to be somebody on that defensive end who needs to step up, whether it's Cam Jordan or somebody, to come out there and start getting on people's asses when they're screwing up or if they're not doing their job. And so I'm not going to put it all on Breeze.
Okay. I'm just wondering sometimes if when we talk about the greats, if it doesn't matter what type of team is around them, that they can just say, I'm not going to play on a team this bad this year.
Can do it. Now, that he can do. I mean, I know what you're saying as far as we kind of almost upgrade the team, make the team better, make them better with his own presence. That I think he can do, and I think if they can get off to a fast start and really get going right away, then this could be a blowout. But I'm not sure how that's gonna. I mean, if I can count on that, you know what I mean? That they're gonna get off to a fast start. I look at this one right here, where this is gonna be a game where it's gonna be some blows back and forth. Because I mean, I've been to enough Tampa games here in Tampa against New Orleans where they're all heart starvers. Where almost 60,000 people about to have a heart attack in that building because the games are so close.
Right. Yeah. I mean, division games can often be like that. Joey, who do you got in this game? Bucs at Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think they feel the pressure is really on them to win.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. All right. Okay. I don't think I got anything else left on this topic other than the Panthers better become better, or else I'm going to be so mad and miserable every damn week.
It's going to be a long year if they don't.
Yeah, I can't accept rebuilding right now. I just am not in that process, but I hope that everybody else has a better week than we had last week, fellas.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't. I just hope I do, and you guys.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you meant because I was thinking the same thing. Like, well, I hope y'all two fail and I, pass.
It's kind of crazy when everybody is sad.
Oh,
it's like being on the Patriots.
Exactly.
Like I said, but I mean, like this division in the AFC East, you keep wondering who threw the grenade in the room because it's just like, I mean, everybody's blown to bits right now. These teams are in shambles.
And right before we sign off, I want to ask you guys, since I haven't talked about this with anybody, I just want to know what the hell was up with Tom Brady? Like, I'm not even talking about his play on the field. Was he drunk? Like, what was it? I mean, did you guys see anything? Did he look like he had taken a chemo treatment earlier or something? Like, wow. He didn't look himself, even in his face and like the way he was acting. I had never seen that. Am I the only one that like thought that, or is he just a pouty face?
Tom Brady's just a pouty face.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. I mean, he was that sad. He was literally like crying on the sidelines. It looked like.
I mean, you got to think about it like this. I mean, half the rules they made against the defense were because of his ass.
You're right.
You know, like when he got hit on the knee and everything like that, half those rules are him because he went up there and cried a freaking river in the middle of the damn field, and you know. Can't hurt Tom Brady.
Wow. Okay. I thought I was really stunned. I'd never seen anything. I've never seen a pro player that's supposed to be of one of the greatest ever of all time. And we can admit, I mean, I've never seen a guy, I'm not talking about the stinking it up, but like, it looked like something in his, like there was no will in his face. Like, I felt like he was really like a child over there crying.
Well, maybe it could be. Maybe what you're saying is that he realizing that he doesn't have the talent around him, or the guys who have what it needs, what it takes to get them there. You know what I mean? He may be realizing right now that they're facing a little mortality a little bit, that they're not that same invincible team that's just gonna get to the playoffs. But I mean, that whole division right now. I mean, who can you pick anybody who's going to make the playoffs in that division?
I don't know.
I mean, between our division
look, they just came out and benched DJ Manuel. That's crazy too. It's just like, sorry, we're tired of your ass. like they didn't even give him a chance. Like they didn't say they didn't say that the job was up in the air and they're still making a decision. They came out and just said straight, we're not going with EJ.
Right.
That's crazy.
I could have told him that.
I think it's just a temporary thing, just so he can watch old, what's his name?
Orton.
So he can watch Orton.
He's a nice kid. He's a halfway decent player. But, I mean, like, I just don't see EJ as that franchise quarterback. I never have. And I don't see it.
He makes some bad decisions back there.
Huh?
He does make bad decisions back there.
Yeah, I just don't see franchise quarterback in the guy. So, him getting benched, not an ounce of a shock to me.
It's crazy. I will say this, you guys got to check this out on our website, dude. Go back to Monday night's post. Carolina Panther fans had a little mental health emergency meeting where we looked at pictures of Tom Brady crying, and we looked at pictures of Bill Belichick having a stroke after in the press conference, and we also looked at pictures of everybody else in our division losing. There are no pictures of Tampa Bay up there, but we should have put a thank you note to Tampa Bay. In some ways, for their guys next week, hopefully this week. Hopefully Scott's the one crazy person that's going to get it right.
Hopefully the one crazy person that got it wrong.
Okay. Let's do the plugs and get out of here.
I hope you're wrong.
I understand why you want me to be wrong.
Oh, absolutely. You know it.
Scott, tell them. I saw you guys doing. I'm gonna go listen to Falcons radio tonight. By the way, I saw you guys were on last night. Tell them how they can get after you.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Scott Karasik. You can also find me at Draft Falcons. You can find most of my work at Bleacher Report. I do also run Draft Falcons. Just hit me up. I'll always talk football with you. Unless you're just a total troll, then you're going to hit the block list like all the other total trolls do. So, Saints fans, please don't talk to me.
See, that's why I never tweet him anymore.
He just got.
Come on, Greg.
I know.
I know.
We cool. You know we cool. You know I'm joking. I'm joking. We cool. You know,
Scott just gave his plug and lost followers.
Sounds about right.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I say the same thing if that was the case. But
all right, Joey, tell them how they can get after you.
And you can find me on Twitter at Joe Riavano. Don't hit me up anytime. Maybe in the afternoons are okay, but not anytime. I don't want my phone going off when I'm in bed. So, yeah, anytime before 9, 10, maybe 11 is okay, but nothing after that.
God, you're an old man. All right.
Greg's an old man.
Greg.
Greg's
open for business. Greg's open for business down there.
Well, you can contact me at IntenseGB on Twitter, of course, and you can contact me at any time. That's fine. I mean, feel free to hit me up. That's all cool. Basically, you can find. Well, actually, I'll be starting with heavy.com. That website.
Nice.
So I'll be with them, and actually, for now, I'll be actually doing a lot of reporting and work for the whole NFC South. So I'll be doing a show for me.
Heavy.com?
Heavy.com.
And is it a podcast or?
It's a site. It's a blogging site.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they basically got pretty much everything. I mean they all sorts of subjects there. But it's heavy.com. So I decided to make the move there, and so I'll be starting there. Actually, probably should be this weekend. So I'll be keeping posting on some of the games here, on especially all 4 of the South games.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's excellent. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah,
everybody check out. Look, they just got a hit from all of us. Scott's over there looking it up. I'm up there. All right. This is the professor. Yes, the professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. You can check me out at CarolinaCatChronicles.com. I run it with Joe over there. And Twitter, cat_chronicles. I'm not going to be like Joey where I'm going to put a date book up and so you can only text me or message me and schedule an appointment. But, we're always talking football, and this is Southbound and Down, the NFC South SAD podcast tonight. And
it's the premiere.
It's the premiere. SAD podcast. Good luck, fellas. Worst of luck to most of you.
Same
and
year.
Please prove me wrong and win. All right. I'm stopping this.